Oops. Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at liftrunlong. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you are not a member of our Facebook group, you should be, because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. My name is Wilson Horrell. I am one of your hosts. I want to remind you that the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast is not censored, so listen at your own risk. Lift Heavy Run Long has an app, and we want you to be on it. For $3.99 per month, you can be part of that app, where you will be added to the Lift Heavy Run Long community. You'll have access to Valerie Hunt, who is the greatest endurance trainer on the face of the planet. And you will also be given 3 body weight strength exercises. You know what?
He's all discombobulated.
I'm discombobulated. My phone went off, and y'all are just enjoying the hell out of it.
I thought you were doing very good.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I thought you were doing very well.
With the $3.99 a month, you will get 3 body weight exercises every week. You will have 4 barbell strength exercises and 4 WODs. For $9.99 per month, you will have full access to all of the programs that Lift Heavy Run Long has to offer. Anything from 5K programs to 100-mile programs to triathlons
Spartan
to
races.
Spartan race training. What else is there? The goal of Lift Heavy Run Long is to bring fitness to as many people as possible, as inexpensively as possible. So if you or someone you know does not have $3.99 per month to spare, and you think that fitness would enhance the quality of your life, then please email me at wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com, and I'll be more than happy to add you to the app free of charge. And something that I never say, you can find the app at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, where if you click on the sign up now, you will have a list of all of the programs that we offer, and simply add your email address and you will get a free week of any of those programs. And if you don't like it, you don't do anything else. There's no credit card involved. There's no risk, no hassle. No one will show up at your door and ask you if you'd like to join, or call you and ask you to please sign up, or give you any spill like that. You will simply be deleted. Or you can sign up and be proud of yourself.
But nobody wants to get deleted.
Nobody wants to get deleted, so you might as well. And we need the $3.99 a month, because bandwidth is expensive.
We need Valerie to develop a new program.
For what?
I need to be able to run 4 miles in an hour forever, so I can go win a race.
What race is that?
The Lazarus Lake race.
We're going to get to that. I want to talk about that.
I need a training program for that.
Don't give away topics.
I'm jumping into the topics.
He's doing it because he knows it distracts me.
Yes.
I want to introduce you to my lovely wife and my best buddy, Dr. Amanda Kimsey, Horrell, Jacked and Tan.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing extremely well.
Good. What makes you so well?
I got 8 hours of sleep last
Ooh,
night.
boy.
Yep.
I like it when you get 8 hours sleep.
I never get that, so nice.
Yep. Good day.
Slept from midnight till 8.
Sleep's important.
Yep.
I didn't wake up till 11 minutes after 7 today.
That's incredible.
Just
You're usually 6 o'clock on the dot.
on the dot.
Ding.
No alarm. And Pedro's waiting for me. 7 o'clock. I'm still asleep. Not that he needs me for anything. I mean, he goes ahead and gets started, but still, I'm like sleeping while he's ready to go out.
Is he like sitting in the truck, like waiting when you're ready to go?
No, he's got stuff
okay.
there's stuff that needs to be done, to prepare. He doesn't need me for much of anything at all, but it makes me feel important. So I like to wake up and pretend like someone needs me. The Reverend.
Hello.
Vaughn Rawls. You're looking well.
Oh, well, thank you.
You got your tan on.
Well, I was on vacation. Yes, and I was in the sun.
Yeah.
Luckily, because it was supposed to rain for 3 days while we were in Alabama.
Oh.
And it didn't rain at all.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No kidding.
So we got to sit on the beach for 3 days.
I think
That's
beach
awesome.
weather people are worse than regular weather people, like at predicting.
I think it rains
think?
almost every day, at least for 20 seconds at the beach,
Yeah.
and it's just expected and okay.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause it comes and goes
I've
away.
got a friend that lives in Orlando, and that's their thing. Like, they just get a pop-up shower in the afternoon. It rains for like 3 minutes, and then, it's gone, and it doesn't rain anymore.
I wonder if the people at home know who that is talking. That's Big Thirsty.
They're probably like, "What is that voice that I hear?
Yeah.
That voice sounds like
Who's
God's
that soothing voice? Boy, that sounds like a good-looking gentleman. And it is. It's an outstanding-looking gentleman. He's our cameraman, Big Thirsty Brian Swanson.
Howdy.
Man, it was so hard not having you here last week.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did the conversation lag?
I'm
were
glad
you
you're
lacking
back.
in sarcasm?
The conversation, it
and dry
completed.
wit?
We were able to get through the conversation without having someone throw darts in whatever it was that we were saying. Vaughn was so relaxed he couldn't
It's
hardly
almost.
stand.
I felt like I could achieve anything.
There was no soul crushing going on.
For a
I'm
moment,
sorry.
I felt like all of my dreams could really come true.
I'm sorry.
Dang.
It's so good to have you back.
It sounds like it.
I hope you understand that I am being a
totally,
smart ass.
Totally. No, it was good being away, and it's good to be back. I'll say it that way.
Good. Looked like you had a good time.
Had a blast. Despite all of the travel issues that we had getting there, which is a story for another day if you're not a friend of mine on Facebook. We went camping for 2 days at Sugarloaf Ridge State Park.
I have a question. Were you camping or glamping?
Camping.
Okay.
Oh, this was barely camping. This
I think
was,
it came up that you had someone set your tent up for you or something. Like
yeah.
that.
So we because we flew to California. We rented a tent. So we paid somebody $20 a day to have a tent, but it was like a little just 4-man tent.
But so that was borderline glamping or camping because you had someone set your stuff up.
So that's
for
part
you.
of the story.
There's
is
an
it
argument
didn't,
there.
It didn't get set up for us.
Okay.
Oh.
We
Okay, well, there you go.
showed up. That was kind of the end of the horrible travel day. Is showing up to the campground, to the campsite that's assigned to us, and there not being a tent.
And you're supposed to be glamping, but you're
And there's
now
no tent
camping.
there. And glamping includes cots
I don't
and
know.
all the other stuff, and a lot of other stuff.
Oh,
and
so you didn't
this
have
was
all that.
literally just a tent.
Well, at some point, we're going to need to nail down exactly what constitutes glamping and camping. We talked about that last week, and we think we need to have an expert involved. Originally, I thought Sean Hilsden, but I think he's probably a little bit
He's too far
might
to
be
the right.
extreme
Yeah,
or the left. I don't know which one.
I don't know which one that would be in camping.
in the camping world.
Is there
On the-
politics involved in
he's
camping?
a purist.
If you're
He's an independent.
yeah, I don't know. If you're a glamper, do you fall on the left or the right?
I'm team glampy. If I've got the money, then you go ahead and set that up. I'll be here.
I mean, the other
I want my food
option
hot when I get there.
The other option was basically to ship all of my equipment to California, which would have cost me more than the $40 I spent to rent the tent.
Yeah.
So it was worth it. But I got there in the rain. The tent was not set up. We had to go find the guy that had the tent. He came over. He had never set the tent up before.
Oh, there you go.
So he and I together figured out how to get the tent up in the rain. And
So do you have a relationship with this guy now, or did y'all leave on bad terms? Did y'all have a good?
he was our camping neighbor for the 2 days that we were there. So
Oh, really?
he's like the campground host or something, or manager or something like that.
And he just
So,
camps there all the time?
Yeah, he's got a fifth wheel, I think, trailer,
Oh,
gooseneck
okay.
trailer, whatever, that he just kind of leaves hooked up there, and I think he effectively lives on site for a few months a year.
All right. Well, let's circle back around to what you were talking about earlier, the Lazarus Lakes Backyard Ultra.
Okay, you ready to talk about that?
That's the name of it, isn't it?
I think so. I don't have the notes pulled up, but the article that we were talking about before the show was actually talking about this being a qualifier for Lazarus Lakes event. And so the website link that was on there was actually to another race in New York that is a qualifier for Lazarus's event. It was not
Oh.
actually a link to Lazarus's event.
So you have to qualify for this event.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Lazarus Lakes Backyard Ultra?
I am not. I did not read the
So
article.
well, so the race that was linked to, I didn't go to Lazarus's thing, but it's supposed to be a similar format, is basically they give you a 4.1, 4.2-ish mile trail that you have 1 hour to run. And when you get back, you wait until the next hour starts.
We've talked about this
whatever-
before.
whatever-
Yeah, you and I watched
And
something.
so,
Somebody-
and
Okay,
so,
that's it. Okay.
and so basically, you have to be in the starting corral at the start of the hour when the bell goes off, and you have to be back and ready to be in the starting corral again by the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you want to go, you can go, and whoever's the last person standing wins.
You can eat, you can get aid, you can do whatever
Right.
you want to do
Yeah.
with that remaining time.
Yep.
Right.
Which
Correct.
my remaining time would be trying to get back to the corral.
I do think that we have talked about this before, but I want to say it depends on what's the course. Right.
So this
Right.
the race that we linked to, and we'll have to put it out on Facebook so everybody knows what we're talking about. But it was actually not like it's not like Tour de Spree. This is not like a flat 1 mile course. This is
That's
actually
what I mean. Like
this
so
is
it
like
would-
a 4 mile
it wasn't-
trail with hills and that kind of a thing.
right.
But also road. I don't think it's very
Yeah,
intense. I don't think
no,
it's an intense.
it's not super technical,
The
but it
idea
is.
that the average runner can finish this course with
In
somewhat
4 miles.
relative ease.
I mean, in 1 hour.
in 1
In
hour.
less than 1
Correct.
hour, right?
Correct.
and then the question is how long do you want to continue
Right.
finishing that
How many
course
loops?
in less than 1
Yeah.
hour?
And so they have a nighttime course and a daytime course. The daytime course is a little more technical. The nighttime course is basically just an out and back. The daytime course is a loop. But like the record is like 66 hours.
66 hours.
For somebody for 66 hours was able to continue running that 4 mile loop.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because Amanda and I were trying to decide how many miles do you think that the person did, and whatever she said was one number, and then whatever we looked up was like, whoa.
Janice Ferguson says the male runner got 68 laps last year.
Wow.
And he was interviewed after what we read. I think he was a Frenchman or something.
Okay.
He was foreign. So
Sure.
all foreign people are Frenchmen
They're French.
when you don't have any idea about geography. He had an accent. And was in the Barkley Marathon documentary.
Oh,
But he was saying how unsatisfying that was on some level because he was the last finisher, so he didn't get to experience how far he could really go. The second place person got to feel that. He didn't get to feel that.
So basically, because he was able to complete one more loop than everybody else, he won.
He
and it
didn't
was
find his
over.
limits.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
They just announced 19.4. Sorry.
What is it?
It's got muscle ups in it.
I was just looking it up. So,
One of my friends texted me and said, muscle ups. No.
Oh, man.
man.
Crap it. I hope there's burpees too.
Well, I wanted to.
I want to get rid of everything I can't do now. Like burpees,
You have to
muscle
burpee
up,
into muscle ups.
burpee, muscle ups.
So for
And
those following
other
along
CrossFit
at home,
Workouts. 19.4. Shall I read it to you?
Yes.
you shall. You already are.
For total time, 3 rounds of 10 snatches, 12 bar facing burpees, then rest 3 minutes before continuing with 3 rounds of 10 bar muscle ups, 12 bar facing burpees. The end.
Can't wait for something else.
The
So
well,
6 rounds
well,
total if you rock.
Well, Wilson nailed that with
Yeah.
the burpees and muscle ups, right?
Yeah.
Get it all,
I
get
just
that all
wish.
terrible out the way.
Why are we doing bar muscle ups? Why are we not doing ring muscle ups anymore?
Because I can't do either of them, so it doesn't matter.
I
Interesting.
think
But
the
I can
ring is
rest.
more simple. Not that I can do
I would
either.
also argue that if we're trying to be more inclusive, it is more likely that the home gym is going to have a pull-up bar and not necessarily rings.
I argue. I have a counterpoint.
Okay.
I own a gym, and the first year they did bar muscle ups, we had to saw off the top part of all of our rigs just so everybody could do the bar muscle up. So no, they don't.
Very true.
If you are accommodating, you will just saw off, use a hacksaw to deface your gym's property, and I guess that's okay. But no,
But you really think
You
that
seem
ring
a little
muscle
bitter
ups
about this.
are,
Do you want to spend some time talking about
No,
that?
are easier than?
I can't do bar muscle ups. I can do ring muscle ups.
I've seen you do bar, haven't I?
You probably have, but I haven't been able to do them in the last couple of years just because I'm so fat. But I can. It's possible for me to get my fat ass over the bar, but it's unlikely after all the other work that you have to do in the workout.
Yeah.
What's the weight on the snatches? Did you?
I did not see.
Sorry, just wondering.
I'm guessing 95 pounds. Yep, 95 pounds for men.
65 for girls.
What does it say? The workouts.
So I'm just gonna have to worry about like my time because once I get to the muscle ups, I'm just gonna stand there and stare at the bar.
Men.
I'm just going to stand there and stare at Scott Hollis.
You should. He will do muscle ups.
I know. That's why I'm going to
So Scott and Kendall.
try to intimidate him.
65 pounds for women.
Oh
on those
yeah,
things.
crank those out.
Who else? Bridget's got bar muscle ups.
I mean, I'm sure people will be able to.
I'm sure Sid will get
I
'em.
didn't look to see if there was a time cap.
Lyle, Sid.
The time cap's 12 minutes.
Okay.
So,
But there's 6 minutes of rest in there. Did you say there's 2 3-minute rest periods?
No, you have 3 minutes to complete this work,
No,
and
no.
if you complete it in 3 minutes, you're allowed to go on to the next round, is what I understood.
No,
Oh.
it says 4 total time. 3 rounds of 10 snatches, 12 bar facing burpees. Then rest 3 minutes before continuing with
Oh, I
3
misunderstood. My
rounds
bad.
of 10 bar muscle ups, 12 bar facing burpees. So that means, and you have a 12-minute time cap. So you have to get done.
Okay.
You know,
so you might run out of time during your 3-minute rest if you don't hurry.
True. If you can't do 3 rounds of 10 snatches and 12 bar facing burpees,
Bar facing
in
burpees
12
is gonna
minutes,
kick my ass.
in 11 minutes, you're going to run out.
That'll be my excuse. I was gonna do the bar muscle ups, but my burpees took too long.
Yep. I'm just going to,
Well, I think that's the move, is to make sure you time your burpees and snatches to where it's like, oh, you finish in 11 minutes, and you're like, oh,
Jump on the bar and it's like,
I was
man.
about to do a
I'm just
muscle
going
up.
to do it. My bad.
So you do the snatches, you do the burpees, then you rest 3 minutes?
You do
go
3
home.
rounds,
Right.
and then you rest 3 minutes, and then move into the muscle up.
Muscle up.
Oh,
you
no,
do
no, no. I
muscle
didn't,
ups
I didn't
and
understand that
burpees.
Yeah, then
correctly.
you do the muscle
Okay,
ups
there's a
and
lot of
burpees.
work to do before you
Yes.
get to the muscle
Yes,
ups.
that's
You gotta
correct.
do
So
3 rounds of-
Nobody's not going to get a score.
Okay. All right, I'm better now. In case
And I'm-
anyone
so
at
if
home
I-
who's
if-
worried about
if I
me
So
had-
really,
doesn't have to.
really, you want to finish the first 3 rounds in under 9 minutes.
9
because
minutes.
you have to wait. You have to wait 3 minutes
To give
for-
yourself at least a minute to do one bar muscle up.
right.
So in true CrossFit Games open fashion, this will separate some people from.
Right. This will change. This will
others.
change the leaderboard.
That's fair.
significantly.
That's cool.
Yes.
I thought it was snatches, burpees, muscle ups, snatches,
No, no,
burpees,
no.
muscle ups.
3
I
rounds
was like,
of-
whoever can do muscle ups is going to destroy
No, 3.
anybody
yes.
that can't.
Oh, Dustin. We forgot Dustin.
Yeah.
Does Dustin even count? Does he even get lumped into the same
Not really.
like gym as we do? Because there's just such a distinct difference between there's everybody kind of like mashed in here, and then there's Dustin, like this way huge outlier.
He's going to crush it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be fine.
Yeah, Dustin will be fine.
I rest really well. The 3 minutes of rest, I'll probably gain some style points.
That's going to be a weird. Is this the first time that there's been a required rest in an open workout?
Since I've been doing it.
Because I'm going
yes.
to tell you, like, what I see in the gym as a coach is more often than not when you're leaving it to each athlete to be like, okay, you're going to rest 3 minutes before you start this thing. Somebody starts early. Every single time.
Oh, sure.
Somebody starts what early? Resting?
No,
No.
they start back to the workout.
They start back to the
Whatever
workout
required
early.
rest is,
Oh.
they always start
If
back
they're
early.
if you're supposed to rest for 3 minutes, then somebody will rest 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
90
I mean,
seconds.
Or 90
Or they're
seconds.
like, resting is stupid.
yeah.
I'm just going to continue on, sir.
Right. Yeah. Whereas I take a 3 minute rest in every workout.
So I mean, that's actually going to be part of the judging is making sure that they wait. The 3
That will.
minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're not allowed to start the like it's no reps.
That won't be hard.
I'm just thinking through it. Like it's just as a coach and as a judge, you know what the challenge is. for making sure the athlete does the work as
Yes,
assigned.
you're going to have to write that. I'm guessing the tie break will be when you finish your
How well they rested.
3 rounds, and then so you'll put that time.
That's where I'm going to get the edge. That's where I'm going to sneak up on. I'm
Wilson,
a sleeper.
Wilson took it to 11 on the rest. So
he really did that aggressively. He's an aggressive wrestler.
There should be some sort of.
I'm going to change clothes.
Yeah.
Change wardrobe.
after his final burpee, he fell to the ground like he was going to do another burpee, and he was asleep before he hit the ground.
Well, during our workout the other day when we had a rest, he drug a chair over there. So when he got done with
Oh, he's done that before.
I like
He'll
to
grab
sit
a
down.
box.
I like
he'll-
to sit down.
Yeah.
I
I've
like
seen him
to
do
sit
that
down.
before.
And
It's all
people
good.
act like that's so odd. Do people not get tired of standing up? I think
no,
it gives
I
me a
don't.
competitive advantage.
Well, weren't you just
To each
telling
his own,
me
my friend,
the
to
other
each his
day
own.
at the gym that it's stupid that people lay down on the floor when they get done with?
It is.
With
Yes, it
he
is
does say
stupid.
that, yeah.
But it's
But I'm holding tight on both of these things. Sitting down is something that
These
you
things
do.
are mutually
Laying-
exclusive.
I
in
got
this
you.
way.
lying on the
Lying.
floor like
There-
you're giving birth to something that's not supposed to be there.
there's a distinct
There's a
difference
distinct
between
difference.
just
I had a-
sitting down.
I had a
and-
football coach that used to say, if you want oxygen, put your hands over your head. If you want attention, lay down on the floor.
But if you want to look cool, you just go down on one knee.
Do that and stick your
Yeah, like
Tebow.
that. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring the Tebow back. You
And
don't
somebody
see that
comes
often
over
enough.
to do a fist bump, and you're like,
Can't do it. You act like they're not even there.
right.
Wow.
Solitude. That's how you do it, man.
Did you say that our podcast was uncensored?
Yeah.
Okay. I just make sure.
Are you about to say something dirty?
No,
Did you
I
have
just make
something-
sure nobody blew out with something before we said
She's
it.
got like a huge string of F-bombs lined up, ready to fire. Oh,
So
I'm good.
can we talk to Valerie about getting a program done up for me so I can go win this race?
yeah. I think you, is that something that would you like to try something like that? I wouldn't be able to get through I'd be good for a lap.
What I should probably do is go do really well at a 24-hour race like Tour de Brie first before I think that I'm competent enough to do a race like this. But that is truly interesting to me. Like even more than like winning a 50K or a 50 miler or even a marathon or something like that. It's not necessarily winning a race like that, but coming to a race like that in peak physical condition and really just seeing what my body can do. I've never shown up to an endurance event like that in peak physical condition.
Yeah.
You guys.
I've never been in peak physical
You know what is
condition.
very interesting is that he just retired from ultra running like 2 weeks ago,
And he's back.
and now
I haven't signed up for anything.
now he's like, I'm going to be in peak physical condition.
Not only am I going to be in peak physical
I'm gonna
condition,
run for
I'm going to do
80
the
hours.
ultimate endurance
I'm
event
just going to go run for 60 hours.
because it wasn't gratifying enough. So I'm going to retire. But you know what? I'm back. He's back.
He's back.
You got to give the people what they want.
Do I?
And there was always
All the
already a
letters,
feeling.
all the letters we got.
There was already a feeling that the endurance world was mourning, and that it wasn't going to be the same without you. So now it's business as usual.
This is a good opportunity to segue into the article about the runners and the cartilage, like growing back.
The
or
regeneration
the
of
regeneration
of
cartilage. So, how long was that race? It was a race from Rome, Italy to somewhere in Norway. I think it was like 45-ish days long. And these runners run just day in and day out. I think it's kind of like a stage race like Tour de France is, where they get a rest at night, but they're doing it. I don't know for certain, but I'm guessing. Well, I'm guessing because they had to be available for testing and stuff. Somebody did a study of these runners, and over like the first 2 weeks, like their cartilage was significantly diminished, but then after that, it actually started to regenerate. And there was no significant damage in running.
Was it
day
weeks?
after
I
day.
thought it was over like 100 miles. I thought it was within a shorter time span.
No, because they talked about in the article about the study that each runner only did like 4 or 5 MRIs, CAT scans, whatever the equipment was that was used, and that was not every day. It was like once a week that they did it.
And you
to
also
test.
said that they lost six.
Yeah, they lost 6.1% of their gray matter, the brain, in the process of this race.
Amanda's laughing because she knows what gray matter
Does
is.
that mean they got stupider?
Yeah, most stupid.
Well, so my comment is this is scientifically explainable as why we go sign up for races after we just finished a race, because
We
we're
have no
actually
brain matter. We have no brain matter.
We're
left.
less
Gray
intelligent.
Well,
we're
when we
less
go
intelligent. And that's why we think it's a good idea.
It's also why I did not read that article and went straight to the guy that drinks beer all the time and runs marathons.
But
Elijah Landon is the guy that posted that in the Lift Heavy Run Long.
Oh,
community.
interesting. Okay. And I'm not looking at it right now, so many of my facts are likely wrong, just based on my memory. But, the general idea was that they didn't lose any cartilage over time. And then also the 6-ish% brain loss was completely recovered within 8 months.
Not only did they not lose cartilage, they regenerated cartilage.
Right.
They lost it to a point, and after they reached a point, then they started regenerating it back. So
Right.
they were better off having ran, however many hundreds of miles versus going out there and running.
They were no worse off. It didn't say better off. They were no worse off.
Well, my facts are different than your facts.
Well, he's just coming to a logical conclusion that had I run, let's just say I ran 10 miles and lost all my cartilage.
I just need to keep going.
But if I had ran 20 and it regenerated itself, I'm back to even.
right. You
But
run
it wasn't
30.
okay, so I don't know at what point we're being sarcastic, at what point we're talking about
I
the
am not
scientific.
being sarcastic. I'm
No.
trying to
Okay,
tell you.
and so, but you had a
That's what
grin
it
on your
sounded
face,
like
so I
to
just
me.
wanted to make sure that we were actually discussing this and not just busting balls. Anyways, because I'm all about doing the ball busting if that's what we want to do. It wasn't the difference between running in 10 and 20 miles. It was the difference between running 14 days in a row and 40 days in a row.
Exactly, but it's the same. It's mine was just an example. Okay, so I'll use 14 and 40. So let's say I'm going to go run 14 miles. Well, I just hurt myself. Well, if I go and run 40 days, then I've just canceled it all out, and so I may as well run 40 versus 14.
Well, the Iron Cowboy got faster as
Well,
his.
and that was the other thing that I was just going to bring up is, you're right.
So the Iron Cowboy did 50
50
Ironman,
Ironmans in 50 days.
50 days. Did he do it in 50 states?
He did it in 50 states.
And his times got faster as he.
There was there was a initial diminish over the first 2-ish weeks, and then it kind of stabilized, and then he started getting faster. And I don't know if he ever got as fast as the first day, but he definitely fully recovered.
So did we ever decide that it's 50 Ironmans in 50 days, or just 50? So did he do 50 days consecutive Ironmans?
Yes.
He did 50 days consecutive
And-
Ironmans in 50 different states. Now, there is question the validity of the Ironmans that he did, but he swam 2.4 miles. He rode.
One day he did
Not
elliptical.
necessarily in an event.
No. Right. Yes, and you are correct on both accounts.
Okay.
Not in an event.
Okay, so let me dumb it down for myself. If I said I'm going to run a marathon for 50 days, every day I'm going to run a marathon, I don't necessarily have to go register for
Correct.
a race.
Correct.
I can just go run 26.2.
So Dean Karnazes
And it would
did
be the
50
same.
He did 50 marathons in 50 states.
But he wasn't registered for 50
But he wasn't.
races.
He ran several races along the way.
Right. Because you
but-
probably have to do those on weekends. You can't.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, because there's not going to be a race on a Tuesday.
Right.
On some random
Ironman.
Tuesday. Well, or a marathon,
Or
whatever.
marathon, yeah.
Either one. But when Dean Karnazes did it, he picked a actual
Course.
race course
Yes, he did.
in every state that
Oh,
he
okay.
ran in.
Yeah.
Well, that.
And so
That's good.
he legitimately did a races course.
Okay.
He just didn't do it on that race's race day. Whereas the Iron Cowboy, sometimes he was on an elliptical or a treadmill. Sometimes he was swimming in a pool. There's all sorts of things that he did that kind of question the legitimacy of his accomplishment.
I don't question
I, for
any
the
of that.
record, am not questioning anyone's
Hell no.
validity.
I'm just saying,
if you go
for
and
You would
those that are
question
going
society. If you watch this documentary, you'll question society when you see how many people were. It won't
So
surprise
mean.
you, but how many people were like
So mean.
just killing him. And there were some things that, if you're a purist, then the main thing being that one day he did on elliptical, and his coach okayed that, approved that.
Well, has anyone else done it?
Nope.
Like
No.
raw, pure.
No. And then
By the
people,
book.
they saw an IV bag where he was getting fluids, and they said,
It seems like you have to do that.
well,
Like,
the Iron Man committee or whatever went back and approved that and said that that's fine for this
So
was different circumstances.
So if you could get somebody
Extenuating.
to drive beside you with an IV bag while you're cycling, yep, you can. It's legit.
You need to watch the
well,
documentary.
I do need
The
to
documentary
watch that,
is very interesting, but it just makes you realize how terrible the internet is even more. I mean, not that any of us don't know that, but
Well, we can't even have a decent Facebook community without some douchebag showing up and being like, "Fuck you, man. You're stupid."
Yeah, fuck
know?
you're stupid. That's like pretty much what was. Hey, here's a suggestion. I would like to. Somebody asks a question, and then you say, "Here's a suggestion," and then the response is, "Fuck off." It's like, come on, man.
Why are you so stupid?
Yeah.
you retard.
Jeez. And I don't know. I
I
think
think if you're going to post something, you've got to expect everything to come back at you.
I feel like
I agree, but here's the thing: not everybody is like that, and what happens is it sets off a thing of all these people that get triggered about it, and it's like And if you're the person responsible for managing this, thing,
Well, and it's-
you're going like, oh my god, it's easier just to ban somebody or something.
I'm kicking.
Actually, I don't even know,
I'm going
like,
to just straight. If it's questionable, remove them from the group.
right. But
And there's just no this thing. The Lift Heavy Run Long community is designed for people to feel safe, and
Right.
outside of that, there's no reason to have it. And so you can give me the
You
whole
are
free
correct.
speech thing.
You're
You can
correct.
give me the whole like, well, we can say what our thoughts are. Maybe you can't.
no,
you are
you're gonna
allowed to
get
say
removed.
those, but you can do it in a polite way.
If you're
You
not
don't have to be,
if you're not
you don't have to do
showing
it-
common fucking courtesy,
Yeah.
then you're going to get removed.
Well,
from
yeah,
the
And
here's
group.
my
once you're
thing.
being disrespectful
This
to
is-
another member, then you're
right.
gone.
This is not Twitter. This is our this is our Facebook community. It's not an open thing. If I go on Twitter and say, "Hey man, how do I get rid of my man boobs?" I expect somebody is going to
to
say
kill you. Yeah.
Somebody is going to say some shit to me that's going to
Yes.
hurt my feelings.
Right.
Real fast.
Thirsty will be
And
first.
it won't be one of my best friends. I don't know. But what I mean is, we have a group designed to support each other, celebrate each other, encourage each other, and all that kind of stuff. If somebody says something, even if you think it's stupid, you can just be a decent human being and go, have you thought about, even if you think that person's an idiot, go, did you ever think that might be a multi-level marketing scheme? Like, I could say that, if someone suggests Advocare to me or something.
Right.
Did you ever think that was a bad idea?
And that's
I'm not going to say, you are the stupidest person that I've ever encountered on the internet ever for saying that.
I can
This
tell
is
you what
not
this
the-
group is not going to be. And I love the group, the trail and ultra running group, but anything that gets posted in there, 6 hours ago, somebody posts this. This isn't a comment. Why is this group filled with so many dumb fucks? Honestly, someone shares an article about how wireless headphones emit cancer, causing EMF radiation, which they do, and 80% of the comments are sarcastic jabs at the article. Well, there's 231 comments, and every one of them is a sarcastic jab.
I think you just laid out the difference between what we're trying to do and what everybody else is doing.
You also have to realize that there are so many people out there that are just trolls. Like,
Yeah.
they're just being an asshole to be an asshole because they're hiding behind a computer screen, and nobody's going to come see them
And
face
that's
to
fine.
face.
That's okay. I
Yeah.
understand that. It's the internet. But if you do that in our group, you're going to get kicked out.
Agreed.
That's all there is to
Agreed.
it. And we can do that because it's our group.
Correct.
You know, you can't get your buddy to come back on and go, hey, so and so said something, they kicked him out. Yeah, that's how it works.
That's how we roll.
Sure. And see, I mean, there's a way to be funny. There's a way to be sarcastic. There's a way to do all those things without being disrespectful and calling somebody a dumbass or telling them to fuck off or whatever else, you know, is being said out there. Like, a great example is, you know, Vaughn decided to stir the pot a week or two ago in the Idiots Running Club Facebook group and said, how do I get a number? And that's like a trigger thing for that group.
Well,
like,
let's do some background. I know that's a trigger thing.
Right. But that's trolling. You were intentionally trolling the group.
There was a post that got deleted before where it really got out of hand and it really hurt somebody's feelings. So in order to kind of just be funny, I thought I would post and go, hey, do we have numbers? Knowing that everybody knows, David Murphy knows that I know I'm not supposed to ask if we get a number.
But I'm just saying, but still, that is...
I was just busting his balls for the most part. I mean, I know he's like rolling his eyes, but it was fun because...
But you were trolling the group.
I was trolling the group.
In a fun way. Yeah, exactly.
And I expected... I wanted people to tell me how stupid I was, you know, and it was fun, and that's cool because I can take it. Like, but there are people that are gonna legitimately post that question, and they're not gonna know they're not supposed to ask that question, and they're gonna get flamed for it, and that's just part of what that group is.
Right. And that's a place. The trail and ultra running group is one of my favorite groups. So don't hear me wrong.
No. Yes.
I'm just saying that's that group, and ours has a different place. When I think about our community, I think about being 300 pounds, smoking cigarettes, and not being able to make it from the light pole to the light pole.
Right. And then some guy
and what I felt like, what I would have felt like if somebody said anything less than completely sensitive.
Yes. If that
then it would have broke me.
Yes.
However, what we have in our group is a group of people who behave extremely respectfully. I hear that all the time, you know, and I post stuff in our group that is meant to attract, you know, sarcastic, smart-ass remarks, and all those remarks are always funny, well-intended,
and they're funny gifts. They're funny, you know, whatever,
and not meant to be hurtful.
Right.
And there's a fine line.
There's a very fine line. What we don't want is for that 300-pound dude to go, "Hey guys, I just ran to my mailbox and back," and some guy go, "You're an asshole."
Yeah, well, congratulations. Like, go out and run a marathon, you fat ass.
Right.
You know, we can't even have it going because people in my position, in that fat guy's position, are looking to be hurt in the first place. You know, and so you got to be extra careful with that kind of stuff. So I think that from here forward, we just boot them if there's any question, because seldom is anybody like that adding value in the first place.
They're never.
And if the group means something to them, then they'll contact us and say, "Man, why'd you throw me out? I didn't mean that way." And it's as easy as, "Yeah, that's cool. We'll just, you know."
All right, we'll give you another chance.
Whatever.
By the way, will you buy some Advocare?
Will you sign up?
By the way, I got some cream to rub on your nose. It'll make your deadlift go up 20 pounds.
Oh, man.
Good stuff.
Hey, you were going to talk about the 100-year-old marathon runner that's
106 years old.
Well, it's debatable.
I read the article.
That's what the story was there was some controversy there.
He's either 97 or he's 106.
Buster
he was either
Martin's his name.
Buster Horton.
Buster Martin.
Martin.
Unless I copied and pasted it wrong.
No, I just heard you wrong just now. But it's this guy was it in London? I think he's in London.
He's a Frenchman.
And he's just he's French. So he's got this job where he's a plumber, and he just likes to drink and smoke. And so he got the idea that he was going to run a marathon, and it's debatable whether his employer is taking advantage of him and like pushing him into these situations because they're using him for like advertisement. And so he goes and runs a marathon, and he says like he had like 6 pints of beer during the marathon and smoked and danced pretty much the whole way, and it took him 10 hours.
He finished under 10 hours.
Under 10 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that's questionable is that there were bets placed on because he would be the oldest marathon finisher ever, and Guinness is refusing to certify it because he can't produce a birth certificate that proves that he is actually 106. Now,
101, I think it's 96 is what people are
He was
saying
96,
he is.
but he was actually 100 years old or 101 years
okay.
old.
Anyways, I think now that is being questioned, and the fact that Guinness won't certify it, now his employer is the one that is making a ruckus for the sake of publicity, because his employer has basically said that he's going to sue Guinness.
Oh.
And try and make them like certify this, because apparently there were a couple of large bets placed where what's his name? I'm sorry.
Buster Martin.
Buster was going to win or earn, 10,000+. I don't know if it's pounds or what the amount is, but he's actually said, I'm going to donate it anyways, so I don't care.
Well, the thing is, he said they were saying he's so accurate with dates in his life that it's hard to argue with him, because he's like, when I was 7 years old in 1913, I celebrated my birthday in the pub with a pint and a cigarette.
Right.
And these things were adding up that he was talking about the different dates.
He could just rattle them off.
Right. And and he's not having to think about it like what the year was. So he's been lying to himself for years to convince himself of this truth if it's not the truth. That's all I'm saying.
Did it not say that he recently got a passport with 101 years old on it?
Right.
He does.
Right. And so that's a government issued ID, but that's not enough for Guinness to certify it.
I thought with Guinness, anytime you did something with them, you had to go to them before the event or whatever.
And I think that was done.
And fill out the paper. Okay, all right.
And I think that was done, but he was not able to provide the paperwork to make them comfortable with the fact that he. And so somebody, I don't know who came up with a document that said he was born in 1913, but the story you just told, Vaughn, where he said, I was 7 years old or however old he was, and drank my first pint and had a cigarette in 1913. He was talking to a doctor. The doctor said, "How long have you been smoking?" And he said, "All my life, since 1913." And the doctor wrote down 1913 as his birth date.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to, I had my first cigarette in 1913, but I was 7 years old.
And so that's what he was saying. He said, well, if I'm not the 101-year-old marathon guy, I am the youngest person to smoke a cigarette and have a pint at a bar, because I was 3 days old when that happened.
Exactly. One way or the other,
Well, isn't he doing a documentary called How to Live Forever?
I hope so.
Maybe.
I missed
Well,
that
what
part.
you sent, I couldn't tell if that was saying like here's a brief documentary, or if they were saying the documentary is being released. I think it said there was a release date on when it was coming out.
I didn't look at the dates. I didn't look at the date on the video, number one, and I didn't see that you're talking about. But there is a video on Vimeo that shows the guy, and he's talking about, I just want my dog, I want a pint, and a smoke.
Amanda, you got something to say?
Abby likes your outfit with your pants and your Crocs.
Oh man, your pajama pants are getting all the commentary. Like nobody cares what we're talking about. They're just talking about your
I
pants
just pulled up the
and
feed.
Crocs.
How much did they pay you to wear those pants? Target.
I'm in the Christmas spirit.
Those are a family
That's
Christmas
what he wore
pants.
to the Silmore episode.
Yeah,
but his pants just weren't on video.
I'm a big PJ fan.
Me
I
too,
came
man.
home from CrossFit. Amanda and myself and Abby Rawls totally crushed
that up.
a 3-person workout.
Nice.
Like it was basically a hero wad
The
named
gym
after
was
us.
on fire.
People came, businesses closed down,
And you
people
wore those
were
pants?
outside, and I took my pants off because somebody wanted to sign them.
Well, look at that.
And so I went home with no
With
pants.
Vaughn's daughter standing
and I
right
took
there.
a-
You took your
I
pants
took a
off.
shower, and I just decided, it's just us, and I would like to wear my PJs. And it's pants optional, as you have declared.
We are pants optional.
So the option that I took was my Christmas PJ.
It looks like you have no pants on already.
kind of does.
You kind of scared me for a second.
He's wearing skin tone
Oh, good
jeans
times.
over there. Okay, so we're talking about Buster and he says that he starts his day off with a pint and a fag.
Yeah.
That's what you got to be old when you still call cigarettes fags.
Yes.
And he
Or
drank.
I don't
Well,
know
that's just
that,
a British
I don't
slang.
know that they don't.
They still do that?
say
Yeah.
that in Britain, or
Yeah.
gosh, I'm ignorant, but
Okay.
over there in the French, where all the French people live,
Where
across
the
the
rest
ocean,
of the Frenchmen.
they still say that.
Some Frenchman is
In
watching
Europe.
this episode right now
I
and is
know.
very insulted.
So how about Europe? Just in Europe.
Okay. Well, let's
Well-
move on to another topic.
He can kick me out of his Facebook group.
I want to be in a Facebook group with Buster Martin
I
because
do
he
too.
truly does not care.
He does not.
You were talking about him getting paid 10,000 pesos or whatever it was. Did y'all read about the Barclay event? Not Barkley, Barclay event. Richard Barclay. He was. This is like 1920, maybe 1800s. It's a long time ago. He did
Is this
1,000.
the Australian guy?
No, not him.
Okay.
We'll talk about him too.
Okay.
Not this episode, but he did 1,000 miles in 1,000 hours. So 42 days.
Okay.
That was the bet that he got gathered up. He was always doing bets. Ever since he was a kid, he was bet to do like a heel toe mile in under 10 minutes, I think, like walking. And he did like a bunch of walking events. He was who they call like the originator of pedestrian sports.
Okay.
And so his bet was that he could do 1,000 miles in 1,000 hours, where he would do his mile, which would take him 15 to 20 minutes, and then he had 40 minutes to do whatever he wanted to with the rest of his time, whether that be sleep or whatever. And the way that he structured it was he did his mile and then rested, or he would start his mile at the end of the hour, like start his mile at 40 minutes, do his 20-minute mile, do his next mile. So that gave him, an hour and a half
So he would
Ah.
do
or an hour and 40
I'm with
minutes
you.
to rest.
So he was doing 2 miles at a time, basically.
Yeah. So that he would have that long gap in his rest, but it still averaged out to.
But he was on, and it wasn't like the event we were talking about earlier where he had to start and end on the hour. He just chose to do it that way because all he had to do was whether
Run 1
he could
mile
do
an
it in
hour.
500 hours or whether he could do it in 750 hours or whether it took him 1,000 hours. He just had to do 1,000 miles in 1,000 hours. Right?
No, it had to be 1 mile an hour.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
That was the deal. It was
That's
one. He couldn't do 8 miles and then take a break for however
that
many minutes.
seems.
And so you see what I was saying. If he starts at minute 40, and then walks a mile, and it takes him 20 minutes, and then he starts his next mile, he's got 100 minutes left.
I wouldn't trust myself enough to finish that mile that I started at minute 40 because what if you're accidentally a little too slow or whatever?
Well,
And then
there's a
also-
lot of what ifs other than that would keep me from doing a
Well,
1,000
I
miles.
was wondering, how do you sleep? Could you stay up for 1,000 hours? Number one.
I'm sure he snapped.
Could you?
No, he
could
napped.
you stay up for 1,000 hours with just like a 10-minute nap every hour?
Polyphasic sleeping.
I think so.
Polyphasic sleeping is a thing.
Yeah, it
That
was
is-
talking about somebody having to beat on his shoulders because he was sleeping while he's walking.
Yeah, polyphasic sleeping is a known thing that some people do to get more hours in their productive day.
Didn't Albert Einstein do that?
I don't know that, but instead of taking an 8-hour sleep day, they take like a 15-minute nap every 4 hours. And there's different variations of
Well,
it,
is
just
that
like internet.
physically possible? So
Yeah, physically,
yes.
yes.
literally, can I take a 15-minute nap every 4 hours? How long could I do that?
There
This
are
guy
people
did
that
it.
have been doing it for
This
years
guy
and years
did
and
it.
years.
He accomplished the goal. He got a toothache.
Forgetting
in
about
the
the running,
Forgetting
it's
about the running,
It's
I mean,
possible to do that.
So you're
sleep,
saying I
yes.
could stay up for 5 years? Oh,
There are
sleeping
people that have been
15
doing
minutes every 4
polyphasic
hours.
sleeping for years.
Wow.
Your body goes through a hormonal change as a result, and there's other things that happen. I actually
think
did it for
that-
45 days.
That's what Elijah Landon posted. That the 1,000-mile Barclay event.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, there was a podcast, the Ultra Running History podcast was the name of it.
Interesting.
Okay.
about it. So it'd probably be worth a listen.
Checking out.
I think that was the name of the podcast, Ultra Running History.
I did polyphasic sleeping for 45 days. And then Carol said...
You slept for 15 minutes every 4 hours?
And Carol said, "You're an asshole. Quit doing that."
You're hitting your REM cycle.
Well, because your hormone, you basically have to be able to push through. And I think somebody told me it's somewhere around the 3-month period that your hormones start to level out. But because your body's not used to it, it's not sure when to regenerate the hormones that it needs to generate, because it usually does it during your sleep cycle. And so I was even more unpleasant than I usually am during that period. But I got a lot of stuff done. Like, she'd go to bed at night. I would do the laundry. I'd go to Walmart, do the grocery shopping. I was also freelance working at the time. So
I was going to say, were you at work?
But I wasn't physically active at the time. And I mean, this is before I started running or anything. So I don't know if I would have been able to continue working out and stuff like that. But I did it for 45 days.
It's time for Hypotheticals. It's not hard, it's super easy. Hypotheticals. It's so fun and it's oh so cheesy. Hypotheticals. Tell your cousin Ben and your best friend Weezy. It's time for Hypotheticals.
This is going to blow your mind.
I heard that earlier today is what you said.
Man, yeah. And then...
Sorry, I just want to say that song was by Ted Horrell, who is also his birthday today. So happy birthday, Ted.
Happy birthday, Ted.
Happy
Very
birthday.
good. TedHorrellmusic.com.
I want to know if he won that contest.
He's still in it. It's
He's
like a
third place,
3-month
right?
contest.
Well, there's no reason why we can't make him win that
I know, right?
contest.
We know some people.
Sure as the Earth Rises. Go to YouTube and search for Sure as the Earth Rises by Ted Horrell and give it a like. If you would do that, that would be really awesome. He was in first place. He said there's some really good competition. He got bumped down to second. He jumped back to first. I don't know where he is right now. Amanda, did you say
I
third?
thought he was third, but
I was thinking he was in third too, but
Either way, he's a legitimate
He's up there, yes.
contender.
Yes.
His song is really well written. It's a
Yeah.
really good song. He's a great artist.
Awesome.
Sean Hilsden sent me a hypothetical today,
Okay.
and I'm going to read it. If I can find it. I've got so much stuff written down. This is pretty, All right. Here is your option. You are giving a device that would allow you to pause time, and you can do anything that you want except for sleep. So everything else stops, and you can catch up on all your work or do whatever it is
I saw that. I
you
saw
want
that
to do.
movie with Adam Sandler called Remote Control. So I know what the answer is to this question.
Sean, he's calling you a fraud. Sean told me that he thought about this while he was running. He went into like a deep exchange with me, and now you're telling me that he ripped it off of Sandler?
I did not say that. What I said was I saw the Adam Sandler movie, Remote Control. And I know that what's going to happen is if you do that, you'll gain all this personal satisfaction or success or whatever, but then you'll end up finding out that you missed out on all the time with your kids and your family because you paused.
No, I think this is a different
everything.
situation. Because I think
But he was fast forwarding, wasn't he?
Yeah, no. Yeah, he was fast forwarding through stuff is what he was doing.
I never saw that movie. So
Yeah.
Okay, so I take that back. I don't know the answer to this question.
Y'all are sure fucking
So
up
what's the
this.
hypothetical question?
I'm trying to bring
I'm
him
trying
back.
to get it.
I'm trying to bring him
Vaughn's
back.
going into Adam Sandler movies.
I was trying to bring him back.
All right, here we go.
I'm helping out.
It was a good
Vaughn, we're
reference.
going to start this over. It's
Very
good.
close.
You got to listen to it. It's deep, man. It's
Okay.
deep. And you're going to go. You got to answer first, but you got to listen to the
I'll
whole
answer
thing.
first.
All right, you're given a device. You can stop time. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be more productive. However, if you take this device, you automatically lose 10% of your lifespan. And while you are using this device, anytime you press the button to say, I got to get this work done, I want to get this workout done, I want to have this free time, then you are using twice the amount of time that other people
Of your lifespan.
So if you use it all the time, then all of a sudden you could be 80 and all of your friends are 60.
Yeah, so if I pause it for a day, then that costs me 2 days.
2 days of your life. on top of the 10% that you've already paid. That's deep, brother.
I'd do it.
You would do it?
Yep.
I think I probably would too.
I don't think I would.
The problem is, like Sean said, he said, if you've got an addictive personality, you'd be using the thing all the time. Be like,
And
I'll
you
just
die in like
and
3
then
days.
Just live hardcore. Everybody's standing still, and you're like banging on the drums, like, yeah. Would you do it?
No.
Wouldn't do it.
Nope.
Vaughn?
No, I don't think I would either.
Okay. That's better than Adam Sandler's movie, though.
No, it's not.
Tell me that.
Good reference.
Tell me I did a good job. Tell me Sean did. Tell Sean he did a good
You
job.
guys did a great job.
That was only the beginning. You ready for this one? You have only one lift and 1 2-hour block of cardio per week to train for an Ironman event.
Okay.
What is your lift and what is your cardio?
Calling me. Calling
Big
me.
Thirsty, you're up.
Calling me. It's a deadlift
It's a deadlift
and it's running.
and it's running.
Those are my two also.
It's a squat.
I
Can't
was
believe
wondering,
you guys
yeah.
wouldn't say. Who would not say squat?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Me.
It has to be
I would not
squat.
say squat.
I would deadlift.
You would deadlift.
Well, y'all are wrong.
And would it be running is what you would do?
Running.
You wouldn't just bike your
And
ass.
actually,
2 hours on a bike wouldn't get you there.
if I think through it a little bit more, we should probably do swimming. That would probably be the best all-around cardio.
If you only have 2 hours
if you
a
only,
week, you
if
better
you only have 2 hours a week, yeah, it would probably need to be swimming because I feel like that would translate over to, if you're swimming properly, that could translate over to running and biking better than running or biking translating into swimming.
But I wouldn't enjoy that as much as I would.
Yeah, me neither.
No
'Cause
doubt.
I can't swim well.
But I think if you were doing it over and over again for 2 hours a week, you would
Yeah.
find a way to get better at it, like
True.
we've done with running. It's the 10,000 hour rule. You know, when you spend enough time on something.
It doesn't feel that way to me for some reason. I just get in a
Have
pool.
you spent
and-
10,000 hours on it?
No, not in a
Okay.
pool. I've spent like 20 minutes.
How did you feel your first 20 minutes of running?
Fine.
Terrible.
No, I don't think I've ever felt. Well, let me
Yeah,
walk that
exactly.
back. I didn't feel terrible though. I've always felt good running.
Okay.
All right, this is the last one.
Promises.
What was that look for?
I'm wanting you to be ready. I want to make sure everybody's
I am
focused
no
on
movie
that.
Focused
references.
and ready. Our listeners are sitting on the edges of their seats.
Would you rather be stuck behind 2 cars taking up both lanes of traffic
Oh, I did that for 4 years in farming.
for an 8-hour ride to the beach, or
Feeling triggered right now.
or stuck running next to a guy for a 50K that talks the entire time about how much he can lift or what his accomplishments are in
Pick
running
me.
or
Pick me.
wherever.
I'm getting in the car and going to the beach. Is exactly.
You
what
just
I'm-
can't
I'm going
be
to the
next,
beach also.
Can't be next to somebody just talking
I
about
can't
that.
listen to him talk about his lifting and himself all. No.
Thirsty?
I feel triggered by both of these things. Can I
You look
just-
angry.
I don't mind.
We're not going to put you in either of these situations.
I
at him
tend
gripping his
to get
hands.
I tend to get road rage when people won't get the F out of my way.
Yeah. Don't touch that camera. It's sensitive. You look like you're going to squeeze something.
Oh, I'm seriously feeling triggered right now. And there is a time and a place for carrying on conversation and running, but sometimes I need my quiet time. So, which is the lesser of the two evils? I would probably take running next to somebody that won't shut up.
You would. Okay.
I think driving, though, I enjoy driving. And so, yeah, you're stuck behind like 2 18-wheelers side by side or whatever, but it's like more music time. You're like, yeah, just jam out, kind of chill out because you're going to the beach anyway.
Well, that's the thing. I'd have a headphone in the other ear. Or maybe I'd have headphones in both ears and I wouldn't even
Well,
have to
if
hear
Well,
you
you can tone them
knew,
out.
if you knew that was going to be the case, it would be easier than just like getting in the car and for 8 solid hours being like, why won't these people leave? Why won't they move?
I would run. I would pick the running if it was some dude that had ran all these awesome races that wanted to tell me all these amazing stories. I would listen to that.
They're
all
not
day long.
amazing.
It's not.
They're not amazing.
No.
No. You don't want to hear
They're
it.
all terrible.
We did the Fall Creek Falls
50K
50K this weekend.
and
We ran
air
it
quotations.
in less than
10
3
miles.
hours.
Yeah.
We got there, and all the
Congratulations
flooding's
on that
gone
PR, by the
in
way.
Chattanooga.
2 hours and 21 minutes.
That's a world record.
And they said that the 50K has been dropped down to a half marathon.
Well, we
and Amanda and I like slap high fives. We're like, woo!
We didn't start from the beginning though. So I pulled in the back way in the park to like look at that back part where we pop out of the woods at the aid station area, cross over the bridge, and then pop back down to finish our loop. And it was like literally underwater. Like the creek was gushing up over the bridge. And I'm like, that's where we run. That's where we cut over. I was like panicking, like, we'll die. We'll die there. We'll die. And so we went, but they waited till like 2 minutes before the race was supposed to start.
Yeah. 5 feet
Everybody's
underwater.
standing around.
They were hoping,
Yeah,
they were
it's-
hoping that
everybody
somebody
was-
was going to open up the drain plug and the
Yeah,
creek would
he
lower.
was waiting for the park rangers.
He
They
really
came
was
back.
waiting for it to lower.
was.
And they said,
Caney Creek is
we're going to
over
do it
5 foot high.
We're going to do it 2 hours later and let some water come down. And he said, we don't know what the trails look like. We don't know what anything's going to be
There
like.
could be trees down. We don't
We're
know
gonna
if
try
it's
to do.
passable.
They didn't have anybody running out there.
How many
anything.
people were bought into this at the starting line? And
There, not many. There was probably 40.
Yeah, maybe 40 people
50K.
there
Oh,
for the
wow.
50K.
You know, you could tell that there had obviously been enough weather for people to be like, I'm not messing with this. And, you know, even I was thinking like, I don't know. This is going to be a long, wet, crappy day. But we're going to do it. We're here. But then when they said you don't have to do it, it's like, okay, we were willing. This is great. And they said half marathon. And as we're running the half marathon, I hear this guy behind me, and he's like, you running the 50K or the half? There is no 50K. And the person's like, I'm doing the half. And he's like, a group of us doing the 50K. And so, you know, I signed up for a 50K. I woke up thinking I was going to do 31 miles. So I'm going to do 31 miles. I think I'm going to do another loop. I don't know how far it's going to be. Probably do 2 more loops. Not real sure, but, you know, you got to do 31 miles if you sign up for 31 miles. Okay. He obviously comes up to the next person. You doing the 50K or the half marathon?
No, that's not cool.
Goes to the same spill, comes up behind me. Wait for it. You doing the 50K or the half marathon? And I thought, this son of a bitch is going to tell, he has to tell everybody that he's doing the whole
But he probably only ran 10 miles.
31 miles. And then we get to the aid station.
Which is 7 miles away from the start.
So I think we're going in for our second lap or whatever we're going to do. And the aid station lady's like, only 2 more miles, keep it up. I'm like, oh, this is the best 50K I've ever ran in my life. We get to, because we're going to have to drive home. You know, it was going to be a lot. So it was a great.
Well, I hate that I missed that.
Yeah, well.
So Anthony got second in his
Oh,
age
yeah,
group or third.
Anthony Lane.
I can't remember.
Boy, that's a bad mama jamma.
He's
Yeah,
fast.
he
Yep.
is.
Yep.
PD got second in her age group.
Yep.
And I got second in my Athena age group.
Look at there.
Very, very nice.
So
And I am listed as running mile times at 4 minutes and 33 seconds for a 50K.
Look at that.
that ought to bring
'Cause
up
you
our
ran
score
31
on
miles.
Ultra
Nobody
sign up.
Can, nobody,
Yeah.
nobody can prove otherwise.
My ultra sign
Our
up
ultra sign-ups is
ranking is about to go way up. So I'll clarify that before that happens. I'm sure they'll fix it. All right,
Oh,
we're out
yeah.
of time, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody got anything else?
Nothing.
This has been fun.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Lift Heavy Run Long number 138 is in the books.